even if we get like one little soundbite that we want to refer back to, it'll be there. So
well, I already said all my best stuff now.
Lane is all.
Or so
already
you
worked.
think, Lane?
No way, Lane. It's still
recording.
Did you double click?
I think I might have recorded that.
I recorded and you turned it off.
Well, you didn't tell me.
Dual
I
host.
just did it, so don't worry about it.
I thought it was like only like the host had those access to those like tools.
Well, he's a host.
He's a
I'm
co-host.
Well, there you go.
I'm a measly co-host.
He's as hosty as you are.
He's the host with the most, actually. He's
I saw his
better
microphone. He's got it going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Robin, that was cool. I just popped in a few minutes ago, as you guys saw, and was listening to the Inner Dojo thing. And I was just having that conversation with a fellow from Brazil, and he's learning English down there, asking questions about jobs and telling us about his life down there. And some of the advice I gave back to him was off the record. It wasn't recorded, too bad, was about working from the heart. And that, and I think that's where you guys, how I ended up here, by the way, because I get drawn over to you guys. And that would take him further than the technology that he's trying to learn and so forth, is showing people that not only can he work in his mind on his English skills and his technological stuff that he's asking me about, but also working and connecting, showing people that he can connect and work with people at this level here as opposed to up here, and tie it all together. And I said that will get you more jobs than any English skills or technical skills in the future, and jobs that you'll feel great about, and people will feel the same way about you. So that was my Cliff's Notes, if you will, of what went down. But one of the things that intrigues me about Blab in this platform is the sense of community, and that people are actually coming together. I've never known you guys. Not one of you I've ever met in my life, and here we are making that connection. And Robin, I did a quick look while you were talking at your background. It's great, and Megan as well. I haven't done yours yet, Lane. So whatever that nugget was that you gave us, give it to us again. But it really comes down to what this whole thing of fulfillment in people's lives. People are running around empty because everything is outside of us, right, Megan? That's what you were saying as well. Yeah, everything is outside. We're all looking at what it looks like to everybody else out there and how we look to them and all that. Now, I don't live there, so it's always intriguing to me for many years now to watch people struggle with this, and that they don't hear their inner self and inner voices, and they can't listen at a deep, loving level. They're because of the way, like you guys were saying, the way we've been programmed by all now. It's here. It's on our faces. It's right here. There's none of this slowing down and being aware of how we're feeling in the moment and how someone's really affecting us, and vice versa. And it's a lost art of communication. I'm excited about this platform because of that, because then people can be on here. You're real. You're not your little throbbing picture showing up. Here we are. It's just us in our rooms and in our houses in most cases, and we don't have suits and ties on. We're not trying to impress anybody. We're just ourselves. Right. And that's the most amazing thing about this, and the communication piece that's so lost at this time.
Well said.
And we're going to gravitate towards those people that are of like mind, and finally we have a way of doing that really quick. I mean, it's so I heard somebody describe this as a trust accelerator, and I just thought that was like a fantastic way to describe it, because you tend to know like whether you want to continue a discussion with that person later on. Somebody said it was almost like speed dating, but for like, wow, that was so trippy. Did you just see that, Cliff?
I did.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Well, I'm glad we're recording because you can see it later. I'm visual. You got up and walked away. Lane X'd out the second you sat down in his seat. Oh, wow. It was like awesome. You were in the same room as him. Oh my God.
I'm in the dark here. I think I should turn on the light.
You'll see it in replay. You'll see it when you come back to the replay. It's gonna be
that was cool. I just looked up at that very moment. I said, whoa, how'd you do that?
That was very trippy. Oh, you're going to love it. It was magical. I just want to say one thing, Cliff. You were saying you were talking with this young guy from Brazil. and you were saying that it's more important that, that it's about personalities rather than maybe qualifications on paper is more important. And it just makes me think of, the technology that Blab is now has existed in other forms, like Google Hangouts, for example. Yeah. People could chat, people could participate, you could have more than one person and like actually on camera. But I think, there was something missing. There was a piece of the puzzle missing. And I think what it was is when I listened to the CEO describe how this came about, which I really want to know more. I'm going to try to reach out to him and talk to him at some point. Cool. He said that the most important thing for him was building a team. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you're talking about when you're talking to this kid. It's like if he can be part of an organic team that really works well together, they can go a quantum leap. They can really catapult themselves to the next level. Whereas if you have a bunch of like geeky techs that they don't have that energy, they don't have that understanding, they don't have that sort of community, you're going to get some evolution in the technology, but you're not going to get that quantum leap.
You won't get the innovation, and that's one thing I've been watching and listening very carefully to over the years. And I'm a technical guy. I went to college for it, but I'm really about helping people. And I realized that when I was about 19 years old, I said the most complicated thing I went through electronic engineering is people. People are the most interesting thing out there. I'm calling them a thing, but the reality is that psychology and why people do things, it's intriguing to me. It's always been intriguing because of the complexity and because of I go for challenges. And this is the biggest thing for me is communication, learning from everyone from my dad down through all the other people I've bumped into over the years. I recruited for 15 years because I got tired of working for corporations and their nonsense in the pyramid. And that's one of the things that I'm also big on when you're talking, Megan, about, and Robin, I'm sure you'll resonate with this as well. In the typical pyramid corporation of today and yesterday, and hopefully not tomorrow, people are they're not encouraged to be listeners, to share information. They have to protect their jobs. They have to protect, cover their asses and play the game. And it's a shame because there's so much, we could be so much further ahead in technology yes. and heart-based connectivity yes. than we are today, if that was not the case. Now, there's a lot going on right now. As you guys know, there's a big consciousness shift, awareness shift going on. You can call it whatever your sources you want to call it from, necessity, survival, thriving, and along those lines, there's people like, I think, Fred Laloux. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work. He's written a book about reinventing organizations. And Otto Scharmer's got 45,000 people in a U lab right now on Theory U. This stuff is all about getting to the inner self and connecting and listening not only to yourself and who you are and whatnot, but then it puts you in a position where you can listen to others and hear what the way I tell people about it in very short terms and Cliff's notes, if you will, again, is check your ego at the door. Doesn't come in with you. Check your guns, check your ego, check your history at the door. Come on in. The water's fine. Nobody's got any weapons of any kind. There's no prejudice. There's no bigotry. There's no nonsense. This is where we need to be to get to the solutions to the problems that we have today. And it all comes back to having the heart, and the way they put it in their terms is the heart and head and hand tied together. That's how we get to the solutions to and what I tell people is it's, and part of the Blab thing, we'll talk about that in a second, where things are connected here in somewhat perpetuity, especially if you hit the on the record button like we've done here, that we have a way to continue the conversation and connect to each other and say, hey, if Cliff's going to be on, I want to get on his, or Robin, I want to get on her the dojo thing and hear what she's got to say about cultivating the inner connection to oneself, because that's where it all comes from. It's not about what's going on out there. It's about what's going on in here. And then making that connection between others. And that's what I'm excited about Blab. I really think it's one of the first platforms that is set up that way, where you've got the Brady Bunch out here. Here comes Lane.
Can I real quick say to OC
Sure.
Biz Picks, we just made a connection on the side there somehow. I guess she'd been connecting in some way, and I just want to say thank you for saying hello.
Join conversation. Yeah, we're all in the same conversation. So the main thing is for me is what's your message? And I'm sorry you missed this, Lane. It was interesting. We'll go back. You can watch the replay where you disappeared and Robin took your seat. But that was kind of fun. But this, to me, this connectivity has been lacking, as all of us here on this, at least the four of us know, and hopefully some folks in the sidebar can attest that this disconnect, and someone, I'm looking for my quote from somebody the other day, and I'll get it in a second. And it goes into just the breakdown in communication that we have today for all the reasons that we know. I don't need to go into all that. And this is a great platform, but I think that people, like you say, it's a trust accelerator. People can see you, they can hear you, they can feel you in the comfort of your own home. There's no prejudice or nonsense coming through in most cases where people are just themselves. And that will build that trust and build the connections that I think we're all here to do. Mm-hmm. Now, there's other people out here that are just here to talk about the NFL or Donnie Trump or something.
Which is fine. Yeah. Which is great.
And that's cool, too.
Yeah, they have a place to do it. It's very meaningful for them.
Yeah, and we need to come together. We being the general population as opposed to the elitists and the corporatists and all that, we need to come together and have these conversations of all types to make things better going forward and maybe save our butts on this planet. And it has to come from the heart. So thank you for listening. Sorry?
Yeah, of course. But like you said, these conversations of all types, it's great that we can connect and, we're heart-centered individuals and we kind of all get what each other is saying. And it's wonderful to have that connection. And I'm sure it's just as rewarding for all of the other people that connect about things that interest them. Yeah. That's what's the beauty of it is it just works so seamlessly and perfectly for every single group of people who are attracted to one another on this platform. It's gorgeous. Thanks, Cliff. Are you leaving us or are you sticking around?
I'm just moving around the screen here to make sure I can see people in the sidebar. Is that okay? Do you want to boot me? You got the power, baby.
Well, no, I know. I would never boot anybody unless they were crossing a line. Although
Cliff, are you leaving?
Blue, let's see if we can cross a line. See if we can get booted. Hey,
did you use my blue term?
Blue.
Did you see the question there on the side, Megan, about talk a little bit about?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Because I'd love to hear
I did not get a chance to talk to Sean. He was actually there was a professor, I think probably from Duke University because he's alumni of Duke, and he was basically the professor was teaching a class and had Sean there and was introducing his class to Blab. So most of these kids, like, I don't know, they're probably in their 20s, but they had never seen Blab before, and they had no idea kind of what was going on. And some of them kind of sort of saw the potential. I mean, it took me a couple of hours the first time I came on to like figure out what was going on. And some of them you could clearly see were very uncomfortable with the idea of it being public and the fact that anybody could participate and the fact that, anybody, that people could be really disruptive. Lane would like that, being a disruptive thinker and all. But that, people had the potential to kind of interrupt a conversation that was going on and maybe like really move it sideways. And I was like, but that's the point. And then, of course, Sean said, that's the point. It's this beautiful opportunity for things to kind of converge that you wouldn't normally. And, that through that process, I mean, maybe it's disruptive and maybe you lose your train of thought and maybe that's the end of the Blab. Maybe it kills the vibe of the Blab. That's entirely possible, but it's a risk that's, you're willing to take, right? And they have this beautiful philosophy that they want that door to be open for that random sort of variable to come in and change the state of things and possibly for the better. And I totally get that. I think that's, I don't see how they could have understood what they were creating when they were creating it. And I really think Like when history is being made, you never know at that moment. You can only see it in hindsight. And I really think that this platform is a game changer. I think it's going to change absolutely everything. I know I've already been changed. I've been on this platform for 2 weeks. And I think that it's changed my comfort in communicating. I don't have a lot of people that I know locally here that I can resonate with. And it's isolating. You know, I think sometimes it's even this, it's like, I don't want to call it existential angst, but there's this longing for those meaningful connections with people who really get it.
Right.
And that's rare. And there's many of us, but we're all in different places doing different things. And I guess it depends if you have the great good fortune of, you know, being in a career or working in that kind of environment, maybe having made good educational choices when you were young that put you in a position to have that kind of, you know, connection later in life. That's great. But a lot of us, maybe most of us haven't done that, haven't learned to navigate life that way, to have those people present or accessible. And so finally, sorry,
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say finally that I think that this allows us to do that. And sorry, I took Shan's comments and ended up making it about what I see. But I mean, that's basically what he was saying. And that's what I was seeing. And you could see these kids, some of them were like, no, I don't like that. But they're young too. Like,
Right.
Look at the average age of the people on this platform. Like, this is unheard of. You know, the early adopters are not our age. You know, they're not. This is different. You know, something very different is going on here.
Yeah, and it's non-denominational. It's there's no borders here. There's only two that run up and down, but they aren't real. And that's the beauty of it. Talking with someone in Brazil today and someone all across the world, and it's great to make those connections, and it's great for them too to talk to people like us who are here in the U.S. of A. and get a different sense about what's so and what's not. And he was asking, hey, do you have any jobs up there? I said, well, I just encourage the heck out of them to keep on a path of making those connections with people that are deeper than the brain connection and the hand connection. Go to the heart, because then when that job comes up, you'll be thought of before the guy that even may have better credentials or better English skills and so forth. So it was a great little call. We had a whole bunch of other people from other places, one from Connecticut, New Jersey, and so forth, and just stories. And the thing is, the art of storytelling has been squashed and just set aside in most cases, unless you're a professional at it. And then are you telling canned stories to impress or because you're a CEO of something? Mm-hmm. And it's great to hear your story, Megan, about your struggles with where you've been and what's going on and what you got and what you're working with. And this is a great platform for anybody looking for the connectivity that we all seek as humans. And that's the thing, is that we just don't have it today. I don't have a community around me that I can go even have a coffee with somebody very often. And I'm not a city guy, so I'm not going to travel down there and hang out or try to make friends that way. This is a great way to connect and find the people you want to talk to on the subjects that are important to each of us. Exactly. And I just tripped into you guys. You guys are awesome. So there we are.
Back at you.
Yeah.
I also like that. I mean, I probably am not stretching things to say that those of us who are at least currently here on the screen, we know some of our inner mandate is to just be present, right? That's really all we have to do, and that's all we can do. This is this moment, this presence that we're in right now. And I don't have enough time for all the people in my life that I could be spending time with. I just don't have that. There aren't that many hours in a day. But when I do this, I can be with people, be with a group of people. And it's just being present. And that's like, there's no agenda besides being present and responding to whatever's here. And this is what probably we're all trying to practice. At least that's what I'm trying to practice in my life.
Yes.
It's just show up and be yourself and offer something and receive something.
Right.
You have to do it both ways in this particular venue, or it doesn't come across well. I was on a chat earlier with someone, and they no one spoke, I don't think, for 20 minutes besides him. And it was like, wow, that's not going to do well for you guys.
It's not what it's about.
It's not yeah, it's not broadcasting.
Right. And the conversation.
That's Periscope.
And, you know, that makes me say, Lane, what do you want to say?
It's an ego scope is what it is.
Ego scope, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sharon, I just want to say, Sharon brings in bringing back the tribe and the storytelling that has been gone. And it's just a disconnect in communications that has happened because of technology and the way lives have gone in the last few decades that have moved away from nuclear anything except for disaster potentially. So the nuclear family and the stories that came along, and just was chatting with somebody else, and it was blabbing with someone else a little while ago as well about that very thing where there's no more grandpa told me. I hung on every word that grandma said, and grandpa was talking about these stories from their day. And they were amazing stories about trials and errors and suffering and making it through that most people don't, the younger folk today, they've never heard those stories, and they wouldn't believe them if they did. Say, no, well, we used to walk to school on our tongues and, all this stuff. So dead of winter, but I thought you lived in Louisiana. It's still winter.
Change. They're supposed to shapeshift, right? Our stories, if they're going to be teaching stories, it's not about the fact, it's about the essence behind it. And does the story shapeshift to the moment or not? I mean, that's really the art of storytelling in the old tradition.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's all lost. I mean, not all of it, but a lot of it. And this is, again, another reason why I'm excited about the communication, the connectivity, collaboration, things that can happen here. We're collaborating, whether we call it that or not right now, and our ideas and our hearts and our minds, just ears, obviously eyes as well. And to me, it's exciting. I'm excited about where this can take us, as Megan has said, and we're all feeling it here on the screen. The told the little bird thing means, I think it should say tell a little bird.
The tell a little bird button on the side is the blue button. It allows you to tweet it out if you click on it, it'll show you.
It lets you tweet out the fact that you're here.
Yeah, and you can put your own.
Yes,
I can put in "This Blab is awesome," just so people, I mean, we can do the title of it, but you can also just throw in your own words and say, "This is an awesome blab going on."
Yeah, I tried something else. I tried using somebody else's words, but I didn't give them credit because I didn't have room. Robin, I just wanted to say one thing when you were talking about the importance of, I guess, I don't know quite how you put it. I'll be paraphrasing, but it was that by having this opportunity to have a conversation with one another, we have the opportunity to change one another. And so I think it was before you joined the Blab that I was talking about the fact that, to me, Blab is the potential to be a catalyst. What are you doing? Introvert.
He's comfortable. He's comfortable there. It's okay.
So the whole point isn't that we come here and broadcast, although I suppose there's going to be some people that do that, and they'll have their people that want that, so it's valid. But the beautiful, opportunity here is that we have the opportunity for our conversation to be a catalyst for both of us, a catalyst for change for both of us, to change something fundamental, or maybe not fundamental, but it'll tweak something so that, we have a new discovery.
Or even just, Lane, I'm gonna let you have the microphone. I know you're an introvert and don't really want to speak, but I'm gonna let you anyway.
Oh, he can speak.
I know.
I can speak. I'm just being.
I know. Well, you're going to have to speak now because I've lost my train of thought.
I have a question for you guys. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to be very vulnerable with people in intimate, one-on-one situations. But as Megan probably can attest, we've been pretty vulnerable intimately, sharing our soul selves, I guess, on here, regardless if people were in here or not. So as far as I like to move, I don't like to stay in the cliche fact and relationships in personal and non-Blab life. And I certainly don't want to start doing it in Blab life, where you just talk about, hey, how's the weather in Venezuela? Or, I'm a Republican, that's fact level. I like to get up into the feelings, intimacy level with people. Do you think, each one of y'all, do you think that that's something that can be done without being almost kind of like, those horrible confessional writing projects people do sometimes, where you can be really intimate, knowing that you have, we have 9 people in here right now, but could you, would it be possible to do if there was 300 people in here?
Yeah, because there's really only 4 at the moment.
Yeah.
We're really only talking, because I don't know about you, but I can't really read those at the same time that I'm really listening deeply.
Yeah.
Or talking.
That's the hard part.
So during those moments when I'm probably most vulnerable to sharing, I mean, nobody wants to give out too much information. I mean, it was kind of fun listening to Michael talk about his 3 wives, but there was a point there where it was like, okay, like how far are we going to go here? Like when he was talking about his producer running off with his first wife. I mean, he had an interesting life. Yeah. He had an interesting story, and I love listening to him. But it was kind of like at some point it was going to start getting into a big tale of woe. And I'm like, okay, where is that? And where
I don't
is
even mind,
like
I don't even mind that. I just didn't let anybody else talk.
Right.
But if he would have sprinkled that in like a true conversation, true interchange, then that would have been fine. But I don't think he went intimate enough. It was very surface. I wanted to know why he had 3 wives and why they ran off. It's their fault. I don't know. Maybe you should think about it. I can recognize that my flaws when it consistently happens to me, I'm starting to I have to go, oh, it's me. It's not them.
Yeah, but check it out. I mean, he didn't even like his daughter. He didn't like his daughter, and he couldn't stay married. I think he had some. I think there was a little issues there with women, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, we were never. Robin, you missed this. He was quite an interesting character. He was broadcasting, and he is a broadcaster. That's what he does. He does radio shows.
Oh, this could have been the person I had before on another one. Yeah,
that's possible. Well, I think there's a lot of broadcasters on here, though.
But back to this intimacy question: can we be? I mean, I asked someone recently about what is this whole transparency thing about that we're talking about so much now? It's being thrown around all the time, and does that mean you have to hang up your laundry in front of everybody? And what is that really about? And her response I thought was really good. And I'm sorry I don't remember her name right now, but she had said that it was really about sharing yourself, and that in and of itself is vulnerable, and just showing up like this, not scripted, not planned, not that is vulnerable. I mean, not everybody's going to be comfortable sitting in these seats, and we're all being vulnerable just showing up like this, just saying I'm willing to be here. I don't know what's going to come next, but I'm also not afraid of what's going to come next. I don't know. I think that's really exciting. To me, that is a kind of vulnerability to each other. And I mean, this is improv. I remember the one lesson I learned from improv a very long time ago was my job is to make you look good. That's the whole thing of improv, is my job is to make you look good. And so if there's a tiny little spirit of that in there, then I think we're pretty safe with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think safety is important to a degree, but there's also that comfort zone that people need to get out of to grow. And I know everybody's going to start nodding here that, we can be authentic here, we can be real about, and it's an interesting, I wanted to go back to Megan's point about focus. And some people are able to read the sidebar. But when I'm talking with you guys, I don't even realize, no offense to everybody in the sidebar, I am reading your stuff. And I'm focused on you guys. It's like there's just 4 people in the room, and that's really where. And it's not anything bad, and it's not to say that there's not good stuff coming in from the side. I wish sometimes we could have 6 people, be a bit much to handle, but just the reality that we're here and we are authentic. We have to be. We are who we, and we're getting better at being in the conversation with more than just one-on-one or 2 people. Absolutely. And I know, Megan, you that's what I want to bring it back, is that you had how many cats in that thing behind you, by the way?
Just two.
Just two. Okay. I didn't count them going out. They're gone. I could see multiple things moving, and it was either alien life forces or a couple of cats.
They're alien.
Aliens. So I think that the idea of trust, authenticity, growing experience for anybody that comes on here. I used to do radio back in the day. People used to say, you got a radio voice. And I do some voiceovers here and there, but and I enjoy that. But it's more about, for me, learning as well as transferring my knowledge and to people that I've ascertained over the years. I've done a lot of absorption, a lot of processing internally, and have come a long way individually. And I've always been somebody that people gravitate toward to either tell or get guidance and counseling from. So that's really cool for me. And this platform is great because I can make those connections with people without trying or trying to sell something. Just be authentic, be myself. And if people like me, they'll like me, or whatever, they tweet me or connect. And then we stay connected as a community. And that's the big thing, is about relationships, kinship, things that have been lost over the years for all those reasons. And again, getting better at just being present, being in the room, being connected to other people you don't know at a heart level, as well as, eyeballs and ears and so forth. So I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome here. And I don't say that to all the channels.
Sure you do.
I'm gonna jump out. I have a big day of meetings tomorrow. I have loved this. I will find you all. It's really been wonderful. So thank you for welcoming me in tonight.
What about the dojo thing? Tell us when that is. Do you know yet?
I am not sure yet. I'm toying with Tuesdays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.
7 a.m. You will not see me. Unless you're in
Robin,
Eastern time.
Yeah,
I was going to say, Robin, if you can tweet it to us, I don't know, Lane and I, or myself, I should speak for myself. I'd love to know when you're going to be doing it. So, keep in touch. Let us know.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely be there.
Absolutely.
It's been lovely. Right. Thank you so much for calling us.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Sidebar.
Bye. Okay, here's your big opportunity. Here's an open seat if you want to come in. I don't know how much. We've been at this for about 3 hours now. Oh, wow. Wendy's come. Oh, Wendy, you just missed her. She's going to be sorry.
Did she totally jump off?
Yeah, she's gone. She's gone. She had to go. You took her seat.
I know. I just wasn't sure if she was on the side because I was going to tell a cool little story about how the world is so huge but so small. I'm walking on a beach talking about Robin Rice with a friend, and now I'm on Blab 6 months later, and she's sitting in a chair. I mean, how does that happen? It's not like we live in the same community. It's not like, it's just odd. That's the power of, I think, the internet and social media. And I was just sitting here, I'm like, how does this happen? This is so exciting.
Right. Do you know Robin Rice, or do you just know of her?
I don't know her at all. I'm just saying, I was walking on the beach 6 months ago with a friend, and she's like, oh, I'm taking one of Robin's programs, and it's this website called Be Who You Are. And I go home and I check out her website. I'm like, she's cool. I love her message. And then I jump on your Blab tonight, and I'm like, that's that. Oh, she's here. Yay.
Oh.
So you're hearing the story, Robin, about the big, small world. But I have those little synchronicities all the time. And so it's just like, this is amazing to me. I love face-to-face. And yet when you have a moment like this, you're like, it can be really connecting to be online. So that was just cool.
Oh, fine. Well, we finally found the right platform for some of us. I use social media the way that it was designed to be used for the most part. I'm not a big fan of Facebook.
Me neither.
I used Instagram, and then I really didn't like it. Here you've got live links. You've got all kinds of ways to share information in real time. It's fantastic. But I have used the other platforms. If they just were pretty one-dimensional. And this is like a quantum leap. It's going to change for me everything. And I've said it many times, but you may not have been in the room when I said it. It's already changed me. It has changed. I would never, come up with this this topic. I would never try to host something like this. I would never try to connect with like minds this way. But I met Lane, and that was like totally changed how. Oh, Robin's coming back in.
Yay!
She's coming back in. Yeah, so you can have a conversation with her. It'll be great. I'll just sit and listen to you two for a minute.
Hi, I'm sorry. I changed where my lighting was so you could actually see me. But I had to. You were jumping in. So I'm so glad to meet you. That's so cool.
Me
Who
too.
Who are you talking to?
I just think like those little connections are just priceless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now I feel like, oh, I was supposed to meet her. I was supposed to be in this room today. Don't know where we'll talk again, but it's no accident that I was talking about with you, someone 6 months ago, and now all of a sudden I'm in the same room with you. Had no idea when I jumped in the room either.
Wendy, she was asking who it was on the beach. She might know the person if you want to share.
Well, I won't say her last name because this is on the record, but her first name is Hillary.
Okay, great. Okay, super.
And it's
and
not
I'm in
Clinton.
Southern California, so.
Oh, I do work for political leaders, though.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's not her.
Not that one.
Hello. That would be wild.
Good year for you to work with her, by the way.
Yeah. Well, hey, my number's out there.
Right. Well, thank you for popping back on, and just a big smile came across my face to connect that dot. So love your message, and I'm following you now, so I can't wait to hear about your next program.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I really am going to go now.
Okay.
Good luck with your
talk
meeting.
To you later.
So I want to say hi to Terry, Megan. We had Terry and Darren, and now Sonia has joined us.
Hi, Sonia, Darren, and Terry. Okay.
There was one other thing I was going to say that I got excited about you talking about earlier is I work with a lot of people in their branding and marketing, and we have this little private conversation at first, and they say, I do this, and they say what their title is. And then they kind of get really close and they whisper and they're like, but I really want to do that. And you were talking about, Robin was talking about that inner person and that person that we never show and the person that we never give permission to be out there. And I see that so much in my work. I'm just like, you can almost feel like the pressure building in people of like, I am this in my day life, but what I really want to be is this, and it's part of my platform. It's part of my purpose, but I feel like you guys are all passionate about that message, is that we all have a day job, but we also have this purpose and this passion we're excited about and talking about. So it's refreshing to hear people talk about it, to say like, yeah, you're putting it on Blab. You're like, I really am this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the low barrier to entry, right? It's allowing, I'm sure that the people who have developed this platform must be just marveling at some of the conversations that are going on here, and even though, I don't know how long it took you to get it, Wendy, when you first sort of like came on and were observed a few conversations or jumped into a few conversations or whatever. But it took me a little while to kind of go, oh, okay, I get it. And then it was just like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic, because I'm not highly social. I'm an introvert, that's why I chose the topic, right? So it's I never dreamed in a million years that I would be able to make like connections like this with people like this with these numbers. Now these are small numbers. And when I first came in, I listened to people that were trying to use Blab for marketing and stuff. And they're like, how do I bring in my list of, 50,000 people? And I'm like, who cares when you can have like a great connection with one or two people? Like,
right.
That's enough.
You know what the number is?
It's not quantity, it's quality.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's authenticity. It's like, oh, we totally get it. We totally get each other. It's lovely. And that's so rare,
Megan, can I ask you, do you mind? And if you do, please say so. But I think I saw you doing a Blab. It's scheduled about speaking the truth, even if your voice shakes. Is that you?
Yeah. Yeah, that was me.
No, I love that, but I don't know very much about you. And I'm curious, like the Karma Project and the Speak Your Truth. I'm intrigued now. I'm like, I want to know this girl.
I have to say, I'm a little bit of all over the place. I'm perennially curious, I'm an artist. I work for the post office in Canada, and I work and I work in a really soulless, unbelievably weird environment with really indelible characters who are all interesting to me, you know, and I love them all, but you know, it's not really my milieu, to be perfectly honest. And before that, I worked on cruise ships for 5 years. So I was working in the casino business, again, not my milieu, you know. But I'm quite comfortable moving in different groups of people. I just don't really connect with them like this.
Right.
Because they can't connect with me like this. It's not because I'm better or worse. It's just that we don't have that we don't resonate on that level. So it's just not available. I make art. I started as a photographer. It evolved into creating sort of using photographs as a palette to make mandalas. And so I started putting them, I think, on my avatar. I'm wearing a bandana, so I started printing the bandanas onto fabric and making stuff, you know. So it's kind of grown. And then I work with like different sort of sacred images, and then I layer them with like infuse those I've got a series of Hamsa images that have mandalas in them, and the mandalas were pictures of flowers that I chose, certain colored flowers, to stimulate different chakra systems. So there's like a lot of layers and a lot of story in all of that stuff. And I think it's a really, really, really like sliver niche market. And I'm terrible at selling. Like I don't sell very much stuff, but I love making it. And the people who do buy it love it. So it's like, it's not mass. It's a micro, but those connections are awesome to me. So when people buy the stuff that I make and they love it, it's like I completely fall in love with them because I get them and I understand why they love it and they understand why I do what I do.
And that's
viral. One part of me. Pardon me?
I said loving it is viral. And it's so funny because I didn't know any of that. And I was looking up sacred geometry yesterday, like the Metatrons. Is it grid or something like that? Have you heard of that? And the flower of life and
the flower of life. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to learn something from you.
Yeah, and I mean, then there's a lot more. I mean, I'm really interested in alchemy. I'm interested in chemistry. I'm interested in everything. And I'm just interested. I'm interested in humanity. I love the human condition. I'm like eternally fascinated by people's behavior, and ultimately, just that we're also utterly vulnerable, and we essentially just want to be happy, and the challenges that come with sort of trying to make those meaningful connections, whoever we are, you know. So I really have a lot of love for human beings, and I see a lot of I see a lot of where our pain comes from, you know. So I chose that subject. I chose another one on anger. I think anger blocks. Fear does as well, but I think fear kind of hides behind anger often as well. So I'm really interested in working with anger, but in order to work with anger, you need to recognize the thoughts that precede that emotion.
Right.
And that's, you know, sort of kind of working with consciousness and you know, self-awareness and all of that stuff. And I'm not trained. I'm a complete lay person, but I get it. I understand that stuff, and I can use some of those tools, and they're really, really simple and easy to sort of, you know, to use.
Right.
So yeah, it's like it goes on.
You're a lifelong learner.
Yeah, exactly. And an autodidact. So, you know, it's like I get curious about something. It's another thing I love about the internet is you can sweetie, come on. You can yeah, sorry, it's a long story. She's in heat. How horrible is that?
That's a short story.
She's purebred, and she was supposed to be bred, but she hasn't yet. So she's, poor thing. My heart goes out to her. She's she's not sleeping very well. I'll just put it that way. And so then neither am I.
No, she's not either. Goes in hand there. We had a lot of people come and go here. We got a bunch of new people in the room. I just like to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I think I was probably getting into a little bit of a monologue there, and people like to be, you know, it's an attractive platform, so people like to be, you know, acknowledged when they come in.
Yeah, well, Tony was throwing some props your way. I think you should spread them around, spreading the love there, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. You know, one of the really nice things about this platform, too, is that you can just click on the avatar, And it'll take you, and it doesn't take you out of here, but here I'll read it. Refuse to live average, align your message, income, and impact in 2015.
There
So
you
we've
go.
got a link here, a Twitter link, and then Tony Cates. Yeah.
Super. Has anybody tried to join the Blab? I don't know. I can't see because I'm not a host.
Nobody has tried to join.
We don't bite, right?
Is he is his name Lane? Lance?
Lane, yeah, he's still listening.
He's your co-host
there somewhere.
You want me to jump out so he can jump back in?
No, he can jump in anytime. Yeah, there's an open seat, so he could come in.
Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing what you do. I was
so
curious
much,
after seeing your scheduled blab and hopping in. So,
well, tell me a little bit about yourself before you go. You did say something. I remember looking at your profile, and it's really cool. I think I'll follow you if I didn't already.
Well, basically, I've done branding and marketing for entrepreneurs for a long time, but I've gotten really, I think most people I work with, they're tired of the funnels and the sales system, and they hate selling.
Yes.
And I hate selling, and I'm like a marketer who's tired of marketing. And I was like,
how scary,
how scary is that going to be for me to like shoot myself in the foot and actually admit that? And I just said, what the hell, I'm going to do it. And I just can't jump into a funnel and a sales system and have an agenda when I have a conversation or a talk. And I think there's other people out there. All my clients feel the same way. They'd rather quit than follow some kind of system. And so I think that's my next step. That's my next, leap, is to say there is a way to pursue your passion and your purpose without selling your soul. And going out there and just being vulnerable and transparent. And, it's an experiment. It's a scary experiment. But I see it work. And I've done well, I'm not where I want to be, but I've done well enough to say I've never done those systems and something's working. And I want to give other people the hope that they can do that too, because I see a lot of people who want to quit. They're like, if I have to do that, I'm not going to do it. If I have to get all sleazy and salesy, I just would rather stick to my day job. And to me, that makes me just cringe. I'm like, no, you have to do this thing. I get so excited for them, but I'm not going to prescribe this marketing and sales funnel and, 7 days a week, 24/7 of social media activity. It'll kill them. So that's a little about me. So I started this whole new tribe and message about I think wealth and freedom comes from living your truth. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are just really afraid to speak their truth. But when we do it, I feel like we're all doing it in this room. You find friends, you find like-minded people who are passionate about the same things you are. And that's a marketing plan.
That's absolutely
and it also gives you courage.
I'm sorry, Megan, I didn't hear you.
I was just saying it also gives you courage.
Yeah.
It's like these other people are being vulnerable, so I can be vulnerable. And in terms of I was just Lane and I were having a conversation about this earlier, that there was a model of that whole passive income where you make a digital info product and then you create that sales funnel and then you get people going down there. And I think I think it might work for a few things, but then, then it became a thing. Right. And in and of itself, it's not very satisfying. I mean, it's great to hear your phone going to-ching, I'm sure. But ultimately, it's going to have a finite life. And I think as soon as this platform was available, as soon as I got on here, I thought passive income, the way that they're doing it, that's over.
Right.
It's done.
And I'm starting to notice that it's not working for people that it used to work for. And I'm not saying it's even wrong. I'm just saying it just never fit for me. And for a lot of people that I think introverts too, in general, they're like, I don't want to do that. I think introverts tend to be more authentic in my experience.
Yeah, I think so.
And more vulnerable. So they choose to do it in small, safe groups.
Yes.
And those people also need a quality, safe way to market themselves that makes them be able to stay real, and not.
The problem.
I'm sorry.
The problem is that people, because you and I are, Wendy, are in the similar veins, I guess you could say. And I completely agree with you. And I made that decision 5 years ago. I was a highly paid copywriter in advertising, and I left that job because I just couldn't stand that my words were being used to, basically indoctrinate people away from realizing what the truth is about themselves, to buy, so they can't look at themselves. But, that's going
right.
really far.
No, we're on the same page for sure.
But the clients I deal with, the first thing I tell them is you don't have to be afraid of being authentic. And you speak of tribe. That's exactly it, because your tribe will support you in the endeavor that you go forth. And the people that do the product funnels and things like that, those, and I agree with you, it's not a bad thing, even though I it kind of sickens me, but it's as Megan said, it's basically, it comes down to they are not connected to anyone. That is a numbers game. And that is all it is. Send as much traffic as you can through it and cha-ching the phone, like she says. Whereas when you do your tribe and you're connected with them, then your marketability, I guess you could say, which I hate that word too. I wish we were in a gift economy. Unfortunately, we're not. But
we need to create a new dictionary.
Exactly. But the financial side of things is so much more worth, because there's so much more value and so much more heart in it, that people recognize that. I put things up like books, manuals, stuff to help my clients, and I don't even charge. I just say donate whatever you want, and I get more money than I would ever think that I would charge for. So I think that's I like what you're about. I followed you. I guess she's gone.
Oh, she'll be back.
It was
she's just throbbing.
Yeah,
you've got her throbbing, Lane.
She was she was on her way out, but this is like a connection thing. Sort of refreshed or something.
Let me. I got a great little story here to share with you guys along this line. I've been doing what I've been doing 11 years and getting paid for it. I've been doing it longer than that, but. Basically helping people navigate the digital world and keep themselves safe, their businesses safe, and their family safe. And some days it's chasing spyware out of their computer, mainly here from my command central, directly into the computers in moments. And speaking to both Lane and obviously everybody in the room that's still here and enjoying the conversation, it really is about doing work that is about helping other people and doing the work that you feel passionate about. And that I'm passionate about helping people. And it just so happens that I can solve pretty much any problem people put in front of me. And so I went in 2004 driving down the street and said, what do people need going forward? What can I provide for them? A lot of people are technophobic. They don't understand what's going on. Everything's getting faster and faster, and I'd be able to do this remotely and wouldn't have to be going out to their houses because I'm chemically sensitive. So I can't be in a lot of people's houses because of chemicals. That's a whole other discussion. But said I can do something here and really help people out. Hi, Wendy, you're back.
Sorry about that.
And so here's something that just came in. This is really cool. You see this thing? This is a card from one of my clients. She's an older lady, retired. Her husband got burned in a chemical accident, actually steam accident in some corporation a few years ago, and pretty badly. He's okay now, relatively. I don't know if you guys can read this. I'll just read this. Can you read that if I can hold it still enough?
Need my glasses.
People like you who naturally go above and beyond make this world a better place for all of us.
Yeah. And it was really cool. And she put it in like a gift certificate. She was asking me if I like coffee and things. So she put in a Starbucks gift certificate for $50 in there. And totally unexpected, obviously. Oops. Lost our host. Oh, my gosh.
Maybe her battery died too.
So it's beautiful things like that happen. Things, and you guys are when Wendy, you moved, and Lane, I'm sure, out of that zone where you were working for the man or the woman and into the zone of I am taking control of my life, better or worse. I'm going down this path. I need to do this for my heart and soul. I would bet, and I'm going to ask you guys together, that things come to you. And I know, Wendy, you've already talked about this. One reason why you saw, that you ended up here. But Lane, I have to ask you, being the introvert, and I am an introvert, by the way. That's what drew me in here. I don't appear to be, for most people, appear to be very assured and self-assured and all of that. And it's totally not me. I can't take it. Just kidding. Half kidding. But what I've done is I've made it my life's work to be more, I wouldn't say assertive, but more self-assured inside so that I can help others and lead them. And I think, Wendy, back to your point, hopefully that makes sense to you, that this is a platform where people can come and be supported, as I think Megan was saying to you, in what they're doing.
Right.
In breaking out of having a lousy job. And I love asking people, as a recruiter for a long time, and I would ask them, because I would move people from large corporations to smaller entrepreneurial corporations. That's just who I am. I won't move them from Macy's to Gimbal and all that. I would take them from Raytheon and move them into a startup down in Boston kind of thing. Because that was fun for me, because it was intriguing. I would know directly who would they be working for, and they would be all excited about me finding the right guy for them and doing a really good job. And that's a tough job to do, cold calling people who are making a lot of money on the other side of the country and asking them to move to Boston to work for a company that may not be around in 2 years when they're working for a Honeywell or an Intel. So, but that was a challenge, and I love challenges. So going back to supporting people, I would ask them, so what do you do? Everybody says a cocktail party. What do you do? Like what I say is, what do you want to do? And they're like, what kind of a question is that? Well, I said, I know what you're going to tell me. You work for so-and-so. What do you want to be doing? And they always are like, well, I'd rather be a photographer. If you had $1 million, $2 million sitting in your pocket, if I hand it to you, what would you do? And usually they don't have an answer instantly because they're not there yet and they haven't been asked that question. And there's so much pressure, as Lane was saying earlier, about just do your job, stay focused about what's coming at you and handling that. But let me ask, Lane, do things come to you like I hear Wendy, and I know this has been my life for 5 solid years out of the 10, 12 I've been doing this. But once you make that change, are you finding the law of attraction working for you in those ways? People show up at the right time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was terrified you leave a high 6-figure job right, and just say, I'm going to go out on my own. This is not the way I do things. I'm going to be my own myth maker, create my own mythology and see if anybody aligns with that. And, I want to be a poet entrepreneur. What the hell does that mean? Right. And, But it did. People recognized it because I studied in graduate school. I studied creativity and innovation, the science of it. A lot of people don't realize how many years, 50 years of research backing creativity and creative problem solving methodologies. And so I just thought I was shooting myself in the foot doing it. And I did do it, and I do it on my own. And I'm actually rebranding, reinventing what I'm trying to go for. I'm trying to move away from corporate work, working with executives, and start working with individuals on kind of the business side. I mean, how do you get away from marketing, right, Wendy? I mean, it's kind of like you've done it for so long.
Still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, it's like everybody comes to me, and constantly I'll be like, well, you're having this problem. I'm a problem finder, problem solver. That's when someone says, what do you do? I say, I'm a problem finder, problem solver. I help you solve heuristic problems, period. So
here, Lane, let me stop you for a second, because something just struck me for both you guys. Is everything is sales, everything is marketing. What we're doing here, we're not really trying to sell anybody anything. It isn't traditional, but everything is marketing. Now, you don't have to be marketing sales funnels and the traditional Monsanto goods and things like that we know are not good for people or humans or the rest of the planetary inhabitants. But you talk about, I just don't want to be part of that machine. I want to work more from my heart center and do things that I know that I want to be doing for the people out there that I can be. But I think maybe reframing it for you guys would be, and it's just nothing you're going to do on this minute, but think about and feel. I want you to feel it in the heart about that everything is marketing, and how do you just turn that a little bit, turn it 90 degrees, not 180, and use it from your heart, and use it from where you want to be using it from for the things you want to use it. I know it sounds kind of global, But does that resonate at all with you guys? Does that make sense?
I think
Yeah,
that's
I
what
agree
we've
with you.
done.
It is marketing. There's a
Yeah,
guy
and
who's
so it doesn't
famous,
have
I
to
think
be
he's in
negative.
Canada,
Everything's
called
marketing.
Scott Stratton, and he does unmarketing.
On
But he's a
marketing,
big
okay.
marketer. But his
Right.
whole theory is kind of, what we're talking about here is like by actually turning the industry upside down, you might actually be more attractive. And the cool thing is it's actually simpler. It's just scary.
Yeah, it's a tool.
We trust systems and formula, but we don't trust ourselves. It's like, what if I just go out there and I'm all me as much as I can be and just trust that? Well, nobody wants to buy that bill of goods. They want to buy the bill of goods that if you sell me a system that promises that if I send out my list to 5,000 people, I'm going to get 100 sales. For me, I turn off. I'm like, I don't even know what you just said. Mm-hmm. But it took a long time to swallow the pill of, if I just go out there and I try to, like what you said, Lane, solve problems, serve people, connect people with what they need, even if it's not me. Like that's a decision I made when things really changed in my business. As I said, not everyone that calls me needs me, but they need something. Right. And so I started to say, I didn't even have a website or business name or anything when this happened too. And I used to be one of those marketers who was like, I got to have my website, got to have headlines, taglines, everything in order, polished. Well, 7 years ago when the economy tanked, had none of that. But I was like, I got to do something. I have 2 teenage boys. I got to make a living. I just want to make a difference. My phone started ringing. I started doing websites and marketing for people that were friends and family. And I had no business name. I had no website. And that's when I started to be like, something's a little weird here. You're a marketer who's not even doing the right things, And I literally didn't have those things for 6 months. And I had more business than I'd ever had in the 5 years previous when I had it all together.
Yeah.
So that's where I started to
Wendy,
think, something's going on here.
Yeah, I love that you get into the matchmaking as well, and you pay it forward without even paying. You pay it sideways, I guess. I'd put it that way, that you're able to handle, but somebody could do it better for them. And, I could learn that, but that's not, you need to talk to Lane or to Megan and, here's the best person. And that will come back to you in spades. And it does. It does.
And like you said, that I think that's the marketing plan. I still don't use my website. I still don't use social. I mean, I have a website, but that's not where my business comes from. It comes from people call me and say, I need this. And I say, well, I don't do that, but I know someone who does.
Right.
And 3 months down the road, I get a call from that other person, and it's weird.
And even that person that you referred will remember you for that.
Right.
And that's really about what that's about. But the one thing I do want to bring up is this cross affiliate marketing right now that's going on, right along with the sales funnels, Megan, that you were talking about, and Lane. It doesn't sit right with me. And do you guys know what I'm talking about? Everybody who's doing online marketing, and I get more. You sign up for one thing and you get everybody, and all of a sudden I've signed up for a bunch of them that are kind of interlinked, and every day I'm getting the affiliate marketing, and I know what's going on because it's 50% they're paying out for commissions. I mean, holy smokes, that blew me away when they said that. I mean, coming from a sales background, Wendy, I mean, 50% to just refer somebody over on an email blows my mind. And that just creates, it's sort of like pay-per-click. It just creates a bunch of noise, even if you don't really know about that product or that service or that webinar or whatever they're selling over there for $1,100, $1,200, $5,000. You're recommending it. And that just, for some reason, I don't know, I'm just throwing it doesn't sit well with me. Now, there are some that really do only recommend things that they know the people and they've gone through the course, but that's not what I'm finding.
You can't see it on my website because my website is in rebranding phase and everything. And actually,
reimagining. Use the word reimagining.
Yeah. And but I have a whole a whole resource list, and then it links off to my tirade on affiliate marketing. I know there's people out there doing affiliate marketing that are good people, but if I have to put a link in for someone to click on and I'm going to make money off of it, how can there even be a mediocre little bit of trust from them towards me, because they're in the back of their head. I mean, I go to people's sites that I really admire that have like affiliate links, and they'll recommend something. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I pretty much trust this person. I've met them. I know them, but there's something in the back of my head where I'm just like, I'm not quite sure about that. If I'm going to recommend something, I do it because I use it and I believe in it, and I don't need to make money off of it. I want people to trust me to do it. And I wanted to speak to something about what Wendy said earlier. It's like, you know, taking that step out is what I tell clients, and what I had to learn, but what I tell clients now is that, you know, you don't have to be everything to everybody. You just have to be the one beautiful, you know, moment for someone. And they'll come. I mean, people on here in Blab see me smoke weed, and I live in a legal state. There's a lot of people that will be like, he's a pothead or whatever. I don't care. You're not going to be my client because you don't get me. So that's what marketing's all about, is trying to present something as the truth that may not be the truth, but if you're doing it right, then it is the truth because it's authentically from you. And that's what I looked at your stuff, Wendy, and that's what I see your messaging, and that's what it's about, is messaging and telling your mythology and telling your story as who you are. And if people don't accept it, then fine. You know, there's plenty of people out there that are going to. All you artists.
Right. I'm saying about finding your people, and you have a lot of people in the room right now. So I wanted to jump off and give someone else an opportunity to hop in. But I just wanted to say thank you. You guys are definitely my people. And it's like, you know, it just feels good when you find your people and people get you easily, and you don't have to like deer in the headlights kind of thing. You know, sometimes you go out and networking where I am, and you authentically, and you don't have a 30-second commercial, and people are like cocking their head at you. And I'm like, you know, it's just me. This is what you do. What do you need? How can I help you? I'm not going to give you some, you know, sales pitch. And it always works. There's 5 people in the room instead of 50 that are perfect for me. And that's good. It's quality over quantity. I don't need them all. I just want the 5 that are for me. So the 3 that I just spoke to here, thank you for being those people. And I would love to meet more by them hopping in my seat. And the sad thing about Blab I haven't figured out yet is I would love to stay in touch with you guys. And I don't know how to quite do that easily yet.
I'm on Twitter, actually.
Click the check box above the name.
I think I am following all of you, but I'm never on Twitter.
Yeah, well,
so I will figure it out.
Probably the reason you're never on Twitter is because it wasn't a platform that worked for you, and it never worked for me either.
What kind of marketer are you, by the way?
Well, it's on the record.
Fans?
It's on the record now.
I would say that because of making connections on this platform and making a few connections on this platform, I've been able to stay in touch with people after the conversation via Twitter.
So are you guys all Canadians? Because I tend to really love Canadians.
Only
Vermont.
I'm Canadian.
Boston.
Boston, okay.
And I just wanted to say one thing before you go, Wendy, because this is something Lane was saying to you, that you can't be all things to all people. And I think really what we want to do, this is what I want to do, and I think this is where the point that we all converge and resonate at, is that we don't have to be all things to all people. We just have to be ourselves. And then we meet our people. So that
is freedom. That is freedom to me.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we got into this business in the first place, right? I mean, most people who go work for themselves, they say, oh, because I want to be free. And then they sign for all systems where they feel anything but. So, you know, that's the deal. You shoot yourself in the foot to be free, right?
Yeah.
You do. Absolutely.
Okay, well, you guys are great, and I can't wait to see you on another Blab, and thanks for letting me join you, and I can't wait to see who hops in. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, Wendy. So we just had a big influx of people in the room. Blue Streak Psy is trying to trick people into thinking that water is bad for people, or a cleaning solvent or something, and it's silliness out there. So thanks for that. It'll be an interesting conversation about pro-GMO stuff. John, Phil, Anna, Jackie, if you're still with us, welcome. I said yo to John. And Megan gets super focused over there. I kind of throw out some stuff out there. So, but we got a bunch of people in the room. If somebody wants to jump in the seat, Megan's in control. You just got to wave to her. Or
I want an artist to come in. I mean, well, Megan's an artist, but I mean, I'm a writer. I guess I'm an artist. There we go. That's who I wanted to come in.
Artistes.
Entrepreneur, storyteller, ringleader, artist. How beautiful. Ginger. So nice to have you.
Ginger's coming in. Ginger did say hi to you before, Megan. You weren't watching the sidebar.
I said hi.
You called for an artist, and here I am.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of when I called.
So it's this platform, ask and you shall receive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I should tell you guys that I'm a total Blab virgin.
Okay. Perfect. That's perfect.
It won't hurt.
We're pretty like 2 weeks. Just over 2 weeks for
wow.
me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying the conversation and learning a lot and feeling a connection with people. And so I'm excited about this platform and about the conversation here. So I'm an artist. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was wanting to know, like, how you connect with people. You know, we kind of moved around on topics, but it's still about introversion. And how do you connect with people, and how do you connect with a wider audience? What's comfortable to you?
When you ask me about connecting with people, the first thing I think about is my clients, because let me tell you first who I am. I'm a metalsmith. I'm a jeweler. I make custom jewelry. And a lot of times when people think jewelry, they think bling and status. And my work is not about that at all. Jewelry is a super intimate art form that you wear on your body. And I make pieces that, connect people with their story. Nice. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So when you ask me that question about connection, that's the first thing I think of, because what I do is, when I work with my clients, I say, well, first tell me the story. Why are we even having this conversation? And then as they're telling me this narrative, I look for design details in what they're telling me. And then I make the piece based on that. And so in terms of connecting with a wider audience, it's hard for me. I mean, I do it. And it's interesting, I'm new to Blab. I've been doing Periscope for about 3 weeks or so. And I like what somebody said about it being the ego scope, because it's exhausting. It's really hard for me. So I like this because I get to listen. I get to, interact more. And, so when you go into the conversation about introversion, that comes to mind for me, because my happy place is in my studio at my bench. If I had one here, I would show it to you. I wear an Optivisor, and when I pull it down, I really can't even see more than 8 inches from my face.
Oh, wow.
So for an introvert, that's like nirvana, because the world, like the outside world, just doesn't even exist. I can't see it, and so I go in the zone, and that's my place. And I have to remember to come out because I have children and, stuff.
You need that. Everybody needs that helmet.
Somebody's got to feed them.
Well, hey, let me just share something with you guys. There's a new, and I don't sell this, as no affiliate to me at all, focusatwill.com. I can put it down in the thing. I've been listening to this in the background during this whole conversation. It's a great way. They got a free trial, and basically you just listen to this stuff. I work, just so you know when you get in there, Alpha Chill. And so what they've done is they've created music, different types of music you can listen to at low levels behind, and it helps you focus in on whatever you're doing. And right now it's helping focus in on you guys. But it's really cool. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Focus@will, spelled out.com. Check it out. Free trial. It's awesome. It's a new platform, just like Blab is, but it's just listening into music. So if you want to get in the zone, Ginger, and put that on your headphones while you got that thing in, the kids are going to starve.
It sounds like
And the dogs.
And the dog.
As soon as she puts it on, you know,
Huh?
sounds like
What is it?
it sounds like as soon as Ginger puts that on, she's in the zone. Like she does.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need any other help.
Well, other people who need to get in the zone and focus on what they're doing. That's what it's about. It's about focusing in, and there's specific. It isn't just music. They've gone and remastered the music and actually have it going between, one ear to the other.
There's a name for that. It's called Oral Beats, I think. Oral, A-U-R-A-L.
AURAL.
Yeah, right.
Oral Beats. And it synchronizes brain waves in certain ways to sort of create
Exactly.
I
didn't want to get all technical
Ginger,
on your
yeah.
asses. You know what I'm saying?
Ginger, do you have a website?
Ginger?
I do. It's just my name.com. Ginger.
Put it in the chat, please.
GingerMeekAllen.com.
Yeah, put it in there. We'll take a look at it.
Okay.
She's
I
typing.
use Oral Beats, but I don't know.
I listen to coffee shop sounds in the background. I always did my best writing when I was in a coffee shop.
They actually have two coffee sound channels, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's cool. They've really done a lot. This is not some little outfit. They really done their work well here, and I'm very impressed. Site's still in beta, kind of, and a little bit of trouble signing in once in a while, but once you get locked in, it's awesome.
Well, it's interesting. Going back, I've been on here for a while, so the long ago conversation about being an introvert, and there was a conversation going on in the chat about shyness versus introversion, and I thought that was super, super interesting because I've never been a shy person, but I know that hours of like being at a party or something, I can do it, and I can contribute to the energy that's in the room, but then I have to go rest, and it's an interesting balance in when you start mixing. The other thing that you guys have been talking about, the mixture of creativity and commerce, when you take your artwork and it goes to bed with money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it's tricky. It's tricky. And this jewelry making has been my full-time gig for a long time, like 20 plus years. And my children kind of grew up in the studio, and I've been doing it a long time, and I'm at the point where my business is at the level that I don't have the option of not showing up if I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, because when I hear what Megan is saying about what was it, a postal job or some other, there are days that I long for that, where I wish I had something else to support our lives so that I could just make for the heck of it. I could make whatever I want. I guess I might get in trouble for saying this publicly, but so I could just create and not create to sell, because those are two very, very different things.
They're very different things. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know who Megan Omen is? Do you know who Megan Omen is?
Yes, I do.
I forgot to plug back in.
I was wondering why you were so far away.
I was having trouble hearing you. Yeah.
Okay. So I had the sound turned up. When I left the room, I had to make a phone call. I took these out. I'll put them back in a second. Do you know who Megan Omen is?
I do. I do not know her personally, but I know her work. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, she charges a lot of money for her pieces, and she also has a lot of people making them. And so she pays her staff very well for making those pieces. So I'm thinking, just listening to you, what comes up for me right away is it's time for you to increase your prices. And so let's say, okay, just for sake of, debate, you double your prices. Let's say you lose half of your customers, you're still making the same amount and you're working half the amount of time, right? This is probably an old idea, but it's important because if you're starting to lose your desire to create, work that's important to you now, and you're just kind of going through the motion, and you've been doing this for a long, long time, and you managed to take it to this point where you're very successful, which is a huge accomplishment for an artist. Most artists never get there. So this is profound opportunity, but there's a turning point. Like it's time for you to possibly reevaluate and make a new decision. And the lovely thing about this platform is as you navigate that, you'll meet people like us who will be going, yeah, you got to do it. And then when you're having, you can jump in and go, oh yeah, that's my purpose. That's my purpose. I got to stay,
So Ginger, what do you think? How do you feel about that? I want to hear how Ginger feels. I know that she already has a problem with money tied to her work, so I'd like.
I don't have a problem. Let me back up a second. I don't have a problem with money tied to my work. I believe that I'm good at what I do, and I should get paid for that.
I got that.
Okay.
Good for you.
I got no problem there, none whatsoever. All I'm saying is, and let me back up a little bit too. I you guys don't know me at all, so I have two staff. I have two people who work for me in the studio. I am launching the Ginger Meek Allen Signature Collection at a wholesale level in 2016. Okay. I'm doing 2 national fine craft wholesale shows in 2016. I am doing really well with custom work. The custom pieces are what's paying for the launching of the wholesale division. I also have a retail line, which I sell I own a storefront. So I have my own shop. Wow. So I get it. I so get that. And my prices are not low. Yeah. For, and, I have 4 children. And so 2 in college. I mean, I'm.
See, I was going to say I disagree with. I was going to say I disagree with Megan because we don't know what's going on with you, and what I hear is you want to disconnect your creative, artistic side away from the business so that you can start creating on a real, true, authentic level. That money's not tied to it. I get that,
right? And what I know about myself is that if I'm making only for money, I get grumpy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just as simple as that. And so for me, I and my assistant actually, well, let me just tell you what it is first. We have this thing and it's on the calendar. I do it every week. It's called the Black Beret Zone. So like if you're going to go to Google and you're going to Google artist clip art, and you're going to get a black and white line drawing of a guy in a black and white shirt with a mustache, and he's going to have a beret on and a palette, right? The icon of an artist. He's always got the beret. So it's a joke in the studio, but basically it just means that, I put on my black beret and I go to the bench and I just make whatever I want. And I might only get to do that for 3 hours this week. But I know that if I skip that this week because I'm too busy because I have orders to fill, and I skip it next week and I skip it the week after, I'm going to be a real pain to be around. Yes. Yeah. And so
I can tell you exactly what you need to do to solve this problem.
Tell me.
You have to disown your kids. That's all you have to do.
Lane always has the best answers for everything.
And you're a father too, right? So wait a minute.
So he would know. So he would know.
Yeah.
But I get you. I get you. That's reason I don't sell my creative writing. I don't sell it anymore. Right. Yeah, my poetry, my short stories I do, but my poetry is my mysticism, my ritual, my creative act every day. Yeah. And this what allows me to then work with other people because marketing is creative work and I work on messaging. So I'm using a lot of my creative writing for that. Right. That allows me to do it. And I didn't do it for 20 years while I was a copywriter in advertising and I was miserable. I hated my life. I hated getting up every morning. People thought I was crazy. I was 26 years old and I was making, almost $200,000 a year. I hated my life because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I realized separate the ritual of creativity as an artist, a true artist, away from the money side of it, that then I started enjoying my work on the creative, helping people make money using my creativity.
But again, we don't know, Ginger. I was essentially saying the same thing. What you need is that time. So it's just about, reducing your workload by half. Or, I mean, it was just sort of like an idea for creating that space that you need in order to do that. Because without it, this is just a job. Yeah. It's become that.
Yeah. And, and Meg and I will say this too, like your comment about raising prices. I'm bumping my head on what I can charge.
Yeah.
Like I've done that. And normally for 80% of the artists you meet, that's the first thing they need to do is raise their prices. So you're right. I get where you're coming from. I think for me, it's becoming more of a volume thing. And I honestly, I've got 2 kids in college and 2 in high school. So it's not an option to not make money. Okay. And right now I would rather figure out a way to leverage, and I don't really like that word, but to work with what I have going already.
Yeah.
Rather than go get a bench jeweler job somewhere, which I could do, and it would be a hell of a lot easier because it'd be, like a guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah.
But that's not me. That's not who I am. It's not authentic. And I have 4 daughters. So it's super important to me that they see their mom showing up.
Yes.
Exactly.
Authentic to the way I'm wired, authentic to my special set of gifts, whatever those are, and do that, I mean, that's all I want for them. And so it's important to me that I model that. So I was just,
I would tell them to pay for your own college, and you need to quit high school and get a job.
Yeah, right. Brilliant. Lane, it's always good to hear that. Hey, Ginger, before you go, make sure that you check out, I don't know this person, Mr. Wonderful E-Boy here on the side channel. I did just check out his website, though. And he does illustration of stuff like jewelry and other things, and he's got a very interesting website, and that, so check that out. Some good stuff there.
I will. I haven't been watching the chat at all, so
I just some reason I was just drawn to that, and Mr. Wonderful there he's got some stuff come up. Yeah. Yeah. So he's got some interesting artwork that was.
That's cool.
Are you in New York there? I don't know anything. It's great. I just happened to see your stuff there while she was chatting about it. I'm thinking about, your challenges, Ginger, and that could be one of those great little things, a connection that you might be able to. He's in LA.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, he's in LA. My brother lives in LA, actually.
Now, I thought I saw somebody buying a piece of artwork from him there. So, looked like. Yeah, so he's got some interesting stuff there. So check that out.
I will. That's cool. Very cool.
You guys can work together maybe and help each other out. He could probably sell some stuff through Hollywood there. The looks of things.
I can go visit my brother and write it off.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
My brother is a musician in LA. So anyway, I love to go see him when I can. I'm on the East Coast.
So there's your Virgin experience.
Wow. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so,
no, don't go anywhere. I just wanted to make sure you saw that.
I hope everybody will still respect me in the morning.
I was not going to go there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, but cool. It's cool. It's cool. Well, I'm happy to go and let someone else come in.
Now we got an open seat. Lance took a snooze there on us, so don't go anywhere. I love your stuff. I did check out your website, Ginger, while we were talking. Also, very, very nice stuff, and other people have been commenting on it on the sidebar as well. Yes. If you trip up there.
Yeah, actually,
beautiful. Cool.
Beautiful
Thank you.
I'm just trying to remember. Oh, this is terrible. I've already forgotten your name. wait a second. We were just having a conversation with her, OC Biz Chicks, but
Wendy.
Wendy, thank you. She just said that she tweeted out your jewelry and put it on her Facebook page. So it was really nice for her to share. So you've got a few advocates out there already.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Your page on my Facebook, so that's lovely.
And it's great to have you join the conversation. So, Ginger, what did you think about what we've been talking about prior to you coming on? And I know you were drawn in by it all. So
yeah, I've been here a while actually. I was here when the other guy was on.
You were. Yeah, you were.
That was a while ago.
You were here when. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible with names. But that other girl that I connected with. Yeah, Michael. Yeah. That was like probably about 20 minutes into the conversation when he jumped in.
So I didn't miss much then. Yeah.
No, because we started at like 8:00 and it's midnight. So it's like 4 hours. I mean, and this is a group of introverts.
Go figure.
Like the time just goes by on here. Yes.
Got to go somewhere.
Funny. What drew me in originally was the topic. The introversion, and I came on. I logged into Blab tonight because of there's a person we have the same business coach, and she was doing a Blab tonight, so I was on hers for a while. But she's in a totally different. It just wasn't my thing, not my language. I just didn't speak the language they were talking about, and so I was just scrolling through, and I saw the title, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I know about that."
Were you here when Lane was trying to get me to change it to sex?
No, I missed that part. Probably good that I'm.
Yeah, no, he was going, if you change it to sex, we'll get so many people coming in here. And I was like, well, I don't know. Then you'll have to tell me exactly how to write that out, because that's not like I'm not.
Yeah.
Really, it's not that I'm not comfortable talking about sex. It's just that I don't really. I mean, you never know what you're going to get when you invite people into a conversation about sex on a platform like this.
Well, you do something like the five favorite positions for introverts.
The thing is, I'd rather talk to two people about this. No, I'd rather just talk to a few people about this than a lot of people about sex. But thanks for coming in, Ginger. And thanks for hanging out for the whole conversation. I mean, that's hardcore. Well, so what a great introduction to Blab.
Yeah, it has been. And I'm picking up that maybe Blab isn't always like this, but
no, I don't think so. But it's what I need it to be. So it was like, I thought if you can't join them, then beat them. Because I would try to get into a conversation, or I'd be listening to a conversation, and they would just be focused on, the wrong things. Like, I shouldn't say the wrong things, but things that just didn't resonate with me. And I thought, you're so close, but you're not quite there. And I met Lane, and we started talking, and we ended up hosting a Blab. So that was great.
And by the way, just so you know,
to start the conversation. So thank you.
Yeah,
Ginger.
Super. Yeah. He actually said sexuality and introversion, not sex. He did write that down there for you. And Jay is telling us we've got the most people live right now without even talking about sex. So we have introverts. Do we have trouble with Arthur coming in?
Hi. I'm Arthur Moore's girlfriend.
So Megan.
Because he stepped away? Did he step away?
Who?
Okay, I don't know. I'm just talking to this girl. It says Arthur Moore, but clearly that's not Arthur.
Hi.
I don't know. I've got a network error on Arthur right now.
I'm just eating. I'm just eating some food, and then you were listening.
So Arthur Moore, you need to pop out and try to come back in, I think.
Well,
technical issue.
Lane let him in. So
Lane.
He probably had a reason. So Lane, you can always jump back in and become part of the conversation. Anyway. So you must have wanted to jump in for a reason, though, Arthur. So let us know what that is. And Ginger, did you want me to? You may not know how to get out of the conversation.
I don't know how to get. I really don't know.
I'm happy to do that for you. You don't. Okay, Lane.
Nice job, Lane.
I was trying to explain. I wanted her to learn how to do it in real time.
Lane. So, hey, Bruce, welcome, Bruce. Bruce actually was on Blab with me a night or so ago. Welcome. So I'm not sure, Lane, you want to Pop back
why'd
in.
you come in, Arthur Moore? Tell us why you're here. I mean, I don't mean that. Like,
Tell us why you're here. Why are you here?
I just mean, you know, like.
Darcy, say something.
What?
Dar-
Oh.
So
No,
let's see.
I
Nobody's trying to pop the open seat there?
Arthur's eating. That's why, Jay. Arthur's having a meal.
Arthur's eating.
That's right. So this is Arthur's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And Arthur's girlfriend's easier on the eyes. I'm sure you guys are appreciating that right now. So what's your name?
Darcy.
Darcy. Where are you?
San Francisco.
What part of the world? Oh, I love San Francisco.
Where are you guys?
I think I'm in Canada. Cliff, I'm not sure. I think Cliff told he's somewhere, but he's not in a city. I know that much.
Way out in the middle of nowhere.
Boston.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Boston.
Yeah, we can't hear her, but you're the only one that can hear her. So just.
Is that right? I can hear her fine.
No, I know, but I can't. Can anybody else hear her? So I'm not.
I can hear everyone.
Maybe I'm gonna.
Okay, everybody's saying yes.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Are you you just told me your name and I already forgot, which, you know, this is an introvert after 4 hours. This is starting to get a little, like, starting to get a little thick in here, but, sorry, you just changed position.
I'm making everyone leave. Like.
No, you're not. You're not. What's your name again? What's your name?
Darcy.
Darcy, are you an introvert, Darcy?
Yes.
Okay, and what about Arthur? Is he too?
No, he's an extrovert.
That's nice, because I think usually couples work better when you've got, you know, one of each.
Mm-hmm.
I think two of the same, I think, could be probably a little challenging, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, what would I know about that?
Yeah. All right, so you're an introvert. Is he an introvert?
Mm-hmm. Lane is too. He can tell you.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what would you want to talk about? Your hair looks beautiful.
She's a very beautiful girl.
Yes. What did you want to talk about? Anything in particular?
I don't know. I'm just trying this out. I just wanted to get on, honestly.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming by.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Hi, Arthur.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Log out. I'm clearly not a introvert, but you guys enjoy?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're welcome to stay if you want to. You don't have to leave because you're not an introvert.
Sure.
It's just a different kind of relationship. I think when you're an introvert, that's all. We're just trying to connect with those people that tend to not connect very often.
All right.
So
do we have any subject matter any topics we want to?
Well,
the topic is about introversion.
I have a question for an extrovert. Your girlfriend or wife, fiance, whatever, she's an introvert, and how do you feel like that you deal with introverts?
Well, I feel that really I just try to find like a topic that I know that applies to them, that's engaging. And I mean, I guess like with some introverts, it's a little painful, getting them to talk, but, really something that they feel comfortable about. And, with Darcy in particular, I mean, a lot of times it's me just running my mouth, of course, and, her kind of feeding off of my energy. And, but, we also kind of, I guess, discuss topics that, she does feel comfortable about. And, and otherwise, I guess how else are we going to have the dialogue? So I guess it's just, I guess my explanation would be just engaging more, and then something that, will provoke conversation and dialogue, and then just using that as a springboard for more dialogue. Without kind of sounding generic. But yeah, I guess that's the best explanation I can say. What would you say, Darcy? Or oh, she's eating now, so we've changed roles here.
So how long have you been together, Arthur?
Sorry.
How long have you been together?
I'm sorry. We've been together about 10 months now.
Okay, so long enough to have to navigate that.
Yeah,
A little bit.
It's been, there's been some navigation, but I guess there's commotion behind us. So
Okay, it was nice chatting with you. Take care.
you too.
We'll see you later. Okay. We've lost your sound now. Lane again. Anybody else? Can anybody hear him? Okay, he's going to refresh, I think. Okay, so hi, Joe. Hi, Becker Safety. John Chin. Jim Filter. I don't know if you're all still in the room. I don't know what that is, Donna. You're a periscoper, Donna. I should have had a look at this before.
Say something, Lane.
I just wanted to let anybody that wants to talk to be able to talk. And even though she was sitting there like blinded in the headlights, I wanted her to feel like she could say what she wanted to. And
I don't think she wanted to, though.
Well, I don't think she was allowed to. For a moment there, everybody was talking over, and so she was trying to say stuff. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, well,
interesting.
I thought I left her space. I thought I created some space for her to speak.
I think there was a glitch because literally it was like all this noise was coming through and it was canceling everybody out. So I think that was like, I'm not saying nobody was,
okay. I see
no one, I wasn't saying people were being mean. I was saying she was trying to talk and no one, and it was just crossing each other out.
So
there might have been like a delay and it all the sound kind of happened at the time. Yeah.
So we have John Chin and Jim Felder. You guys can certainly, I checked you out while you were chatting there, Lane. They're both, it looks like John's involved with music heavily, appears, and Jim is another artiste out there. So if you guys want to join the conversation, certainly that's what make Lane happy here.
Yeah.
Feel a little bit more
heading out anyway.
Huh?
I said I'm heading out anyway.
He's heading out.
Yeah, well, I think I'm getting a little tired.
Yeah.
4 hours
Wendy's
of
checking out.
nonstop blabbing is. Lane didn't even get to say goodbye.
Oh.
Okay.
So Wendy is also leaving
nice
us. Thank you, Wendy, for that.
Yeah, thank you, Wendy. Take care. See you soon. And Lane, bye. Good night. It's good to see you again. Thanks, Cliff, for hanging out. Really appreciate it. And thanks, everybody who popped in and who's in the room right now. We'll see you again sometime. We'll try this again. It's been a pretty successful experiment, I think. We met some really interesting and great people tonight, and I have to say I really enjoyed it, and that's remarkable.
Thank you.
And that's how Blab has already changed my social behavior.
Again,
so we'll finish with that.
4 hours worth. Amazing, Megan, that you hung in at this long. If you want to kick the host over to me, do you know how to do that?
No, I'm going to close this out.
Okay, cool.
You can start another one if you want.
That's fine.
But
I just you got 18, 16 people in the room. That's cool. Yeah.
Well, we can get together again.
Yeah, no problem.
Soon.
Yep. So may want to stop the recording as well. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Good night.